Hey, it's Velvetears, and I'm going in the DMs with Mascarilla. Okay, I'm 22, I'm from Harlem, but I've lived all over, and I just make music in my bedroom. So my parents got divorced when I was young, so we already lived in a bunch of apartments in New York because we grew up with not a lot of money, and then like as my mom went up the line, we just started living in better and better places. And then
what does your mom do?
She started a school in Manhattan. It's like a non-charter, it's a, what's it called? It's a non-profit charter school, and it's like all-inclusive, so kids with autism and Down syndrome, they're not like separated into different classes. They're actually put in the class with like, they're called typically developed kids. Because they found, like, so many studies have shown like typically developed kids end up like being more generous and nice when they like coexist with these kids with mental disabilities, and these kids also do so much better educationally when they work with kids who are there to help them. So it's just like this cohesive, symbiotic relationship.
So did you go to that school?
I didn't go there, but I taught there. I volunteered there since I was little. So I taught there like kindergarten to 8th grade. Helped with those kids. I was like a one-to-one and a nanny for kids with Down syndrome and autism. And then we moved upstate, blah, 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 and she ended up getting a job in an apartment in Beijing. So then for like 2 or 3 years, I lived back and forth from China to New York, which was crazy.
And how old were you?
That was when I was like 18.
So what was it like being an 18-year-old living in China?
It was super lonely. It was cool because it was really humbling, because you get there and you meet people from all over, and we have all these notions from everything we see on the news of like what other places are supposed to be like this idea of like Africa, and like the way we like put it into this box of being like kids from Africa are starving, you know, that whole thing. And then like you actually go and meet people from Kenya who are like so established and like such like beautiful people, and it's like they're not living in impoverished, like I just feel like we have these notions about other countries, and then once you actually go, it's like China's not this malicious place that hates Americans. They actually like really welcome you. So it was really humbling.
So then what happened after that? After going back and forth between China and New York, 18 to 20, right?
Yeah, something like that. A lot was happening in between and during, because I was doing like some really bad drugs and doing some really bad things. So China was kind of like, we called it like my rehab. So I would go there so that way I could have no contact with any of my friends in America and just like completely isolate myself in the room and like go through withdrawals. And that was the first time I ever like put a song out on SoundCloud. I was just like going through these terrible withdrawals in my bedroom alone, and like couldn't go anywhere because I didn't speak Chinese. So I just like opened up GarageBand and just like made a beat on my iPad and sang into my Apple headphones and just like put it out there under the name Velvetears. And like I didn't think anything would happen. Like I didn't tell anyone in my life that it was me, and like I never showed my face or anything. I wanted it to be like, I was pretty embarrassed because I thought it was bad. And the few people I did show always told me it was like trash. Like they told me like I was making like trash music and I couldn't sing. So I just kept it really private. And then once it started picking up and like a star, he found my song and put it on his channel, then I was like, I think I might tell my mom because I'm kind of proud right now. So that's how that happened.
So what did your mom think of it?
I think at first it was scary because she didn't understand the idea of like, because I never finished high school, and I think she was scared that I would think that me doing good with music meant I didn't have to finish. I think it was like really happy for me that I had this vice that wasn't drugs or partying, but also like a little scared that I would not think that I need to be a like productive member of society. Because if it doesn't, I don't know, like back in her day it wasn't like you could just pay rent with digital distribution, you know? It was like you had to be like the next Britney or the next Madonna. But now it's so different. It's like there's like hundreds of us just like getting by just making music. But now she understands that, and like she couldn't be happier. And
your dad, you mentioned that your parents split.
Yeah.
What's the story with him?
We were close when I was younger, but we stopped talking when I was like 14 probably. Just some stuff happened and just like grew more and more distant. Yeah, I don't really talk to him. I don't really keep up with him.
So does he have any idea that you're doing music, or it's just been so long, you're just so disconnected?
He definitely knows, and he wants to be a part of it, and he's proud, but I, just for personal reasons, like I just separated myself from that entire situation. So, I mean, he's proud, he knows what's up, he always like texts me when I make a new song, he's like, good job, and it's just like, it's good to know, but we just don't have a relationship like that.
Do you have any siblings?
I have an older sister, she's 26. We're also not that close anymore. She's really close with my dad. And then I have a half brother and sister, my mom's stepdad and my mom, who live in China, and they're like my everything, like everything. And it's Lars and Nona. They're stupid young, but I forget, I think they're like 11 and 12, 12 and 13.
So your mom still lives in China?
Yeah.
Is that hard that she's kind of halfway across the world and you're out in LA kind of finding yourself and doing music?
Yeah, it's like, since I don't talk to my dad that much, it's weird not having like anybody. It feels like I have nobody in the States that like family-wise that I can like run to, you know, and call. But I have all these like, we call them like second moms. I have like basically like 5 moms, and it's because like my mom always says like she couldn't do it on her own, like there needs to be 5 of them to take care of me because I was such a fuckhead. And they live in like Georgia and New York, so like if I have an emergency, I always like go see these like other moms that I have that have like saved my life and always been there for me. So I know I have people everywhere watching out for me, and I can fly to her if I need to. But I'm just glad that she's like happy and in a healthy place and like doing what she wants to be doing, and then I'm here doing what I want to be doing. So it was kind of a domino effect, kind of just like an explosion too. It was like, I mean, I started smoking weed when I was like 12, 13, and cigarettes, and just like trying to be cool and like getting 40s like at the bodegas. And then it just started moving up. Like it went up to Adderall and like Xanax and Klonopins. And then I was getting kicked out of schools for like selling Adderall. And then it just kept going up and up. And then I had like my ecstasy phase, and then like my acid and shrooms phase. And then it just got like deeper and deeper until I was doing like the really hard dirt stuff. Then that stuff just like, once you get to the point where like you're doing like opiates like hard or like meth hard, then like your life kind of falls apart for you. Like you don't really make the choice to say I'm gonna stop doing it. Your life kind of just like falls apart around you, and you lose like everything you ever cared about, and then you're like, wow, I'm never doing that again.
So you mentioned that going to China was almost like your rehab.
Yeah.
Where are you at now in that process?
I'm like almost 2 years sober from heroin, which is crazy to think about now, because the first time I did it I was 16, and it was my first time running away from home. And there was these like, there's like a couple in their late 20s, and they kind of took me in, and I didn't you don't realize how like toxic a situation is. I just thought I was cool for hanging out with older kids, and they would just like give me bumps every once in a while, and I didn't really know what I was doing. And then like a couple years later, met a guy way older than me, same thing, just like a couple bumps of stuff, and then before you know it, you're just like doing something every day. And like, it's never what I wanted to be or what I wanted to do, but I just got too deep into it. That's a big thing with it, is if you're not ready to stop doing those kinds of things, then you're never gonna stop, because there's always gonna be somebody, there's always gonna be a party or a show. And in this scene, like if I go to a show, I know I'm going to be around people that are doing things, and like it's just my choice I have to make, that after my show I'm just going to like get my bag and go home and not go to the after parties, because I know what's going to happen. And it's completely a personal choice. You just have to be strong about it and just like stay away from it, because this scene is like really full of that. Like it's a lot of sad kids who cope in a lot of the wrong ways, and the only common ground that's good is that we all cope with music. But yeah, got a bunch of random ones. See, I was thinking this was gonna be funnier, so I like picked some funny ones. I got a lot of tattoo questions. So I got a what's your favorite tattoo you have, and I also got a what's your least favorite tattoo, and they were back to back, so it was impressive. My tattoos are really funny to me because a lot of people ask me about them, and they're always like, why'd you get all those? Like, what's the story? And I'm like, I was like so gone for all of them. Like, I was like so out of it for most of them. So sadly, I don't have like a cool story. It's just mostly like if I feel like I'm impulsive, I'm gonna do something stupid. Like instead of doing something stupid, I just go and get a tattoo. So like that's just what these are. They're like, you know, some people have scars, some people pop pills. Like I just get tattoos. I think my favorite one is my hand girl. Did I say baby girl on my knuckles? They were my favorite, but then Fat Nick got baby boy, and I was like, damn it. And I have Lola Bunny on my leg. She's my favorite. And my least favorite one is, I have a lot that I mean, they're all fine. I don't really care. But I have this one on like my leg right here. And then after I got it, I didn't even like know what I was getting. I was just like really drunk and picked one. And then I went on this girl's Instagram and I found out she like hates when people get her art tattooed. And I found out way too late. And she like will screenshot people that got her art tattooed because I thought it was like, I'm like respecting your art, you know, like I'm getting it on my body forever, but she hates it. And she's like, you're copying my art and like, that's my specific thing. And I was just like, oh, now it's really on me forever. A lot of people wanted to know how I got the name Velvetears and does it mean anything special to me? And I always think it's a really dumb story, so I never told anyone. So this is like the first ever time telling. It was just my like top damage rogue on World of Warcraft. And it was back when I did a lot of ketamine, and for some reason I like was sitting there like writing names for my new characters because I like a rogue and a hunter and a priest, and I just wanted to like come up with the best names possible. And when I thought of Velvetears, like for some reason I was like, this is genius. So then that was like every day, like I had a big problem with WoW. I was playing it way too much, and Velvetears was just like, that was my girl, that was my rogue. Like we killed it. We got like top damage every time. So that's Velvetears.
That's so sick.
And it is special to me too because like my ex who passed away, like he showed me WoW, and like he was with me when I thought of the name Velvetears, and he like showed me SoundCloud, and he was like the first person to ever be like, you should sing. I was like, hell no, like I'm not singing, like I don't want people to hear that. And he like really pushed me, and he like showed me Bones, and he showed me like Young Lean, you know, and all these people. And so it means a lot to me. I got a lot of questions that are like, how do you deal with pain and like suicide and anxiety and all that? Because it's like pretty evident in my music that I'm like severely depressed, and like the biggest way I cope with it is music, but some people don't have that convenience that they can just like sing and put it out there. Some people don't have like an artistic way to put it out. And it sounds so corny because I hated people telling me this when I was younger, but it really is about like getting outside and like not sitting in your bed and like seriously like doing like 10 minutes of yoga a day and like actually drinking water. And I hated when people told me that when I was like that won't help me, like drinking water will not help me. And then like now I drink water and like it actually helps me. And like my mood swings are still there. There's still like really extreme highs and really extreme lows, but just like eating healthier and finding something, some form of art, like something you're passionate about is gonna get you out of that rut. Because then like now, if I'm really sad, like if something happens and I just want to like cry and lock myself in my room, I'm like, oh, like the only positive is I can write a song about this, and this song's going to be better than my songs where I don't really care what I'm writing about. Because like all the music I've made that's done the best, like I've made when I've just been like so close to the edge, like so suicidal, and I was like, the only thing I can do is write a song about it. And like that's what made me able to live out in LA and make music, is that people relate to that. I don't think people realize how much everyone feels that way inside. So if you just put it out there, people are they're gonna respond positively, and it's gonna help you both. This person said, when you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up? And I had quite a few things I wanted to be. So I definitely wanted to be the first female president. That was big for me, but I definitely don't want to be that anymore. I wanted to be the first girl on the Yankees really bad. Like my lucky number was number 2 because Derek Jeter, and I went to a lot of Yankee games growing up, and I always just wanted to be like the first girl to do something. Now I don't feel that way anymore because now I know there's just like so many girls doing everything that I don't need to be like the first to do it. I just want to be like part of this legacy of women who like really break boundaries, as being like the first one to do it, or like the second, third, fourth. Just being a part of it would be so cool. Like, why isn't there a girl in the Yankees yet? Like,
Oh,
that
no
could still be me.
Yeah. I mean,
I also wanted to be famous really bad.
yeah.
Like, really bad. Like, I would make my parents, like, I would, like, put name tags on the couches when their friends would come over on the weekend. And I would make them pay me, like, $0.25 each to come to my show. And I would, like, set up a table and a piano. And I would, like, sing for them and, like, put on this whole show with, like, acting and everything.
Whoa.
And I always really wanted to be famous. Like, really bad. I wanted to be Taylor Swift so bad.
So now that you're experiencing like a little bit of fame, you still want to be really famous, or are you seeing maybe some of the downsides of it, or?
There are so many downsides, but it's just like everything literally in life. Like, there's an equal amount of bad and good. Like, I get to make music to pay my rent. That's been my dream forever. Like, I could have never imagined living in Cali off music. That's like it. Like, I am blessed, I am happy. But then it's also like, it's like swimming in an ego pool, and like, you don't really know who has your back. You don't really know if anyone's genuine. And then it's a lot of like, you have to think about yourself every day. I have to think about like, what am I going to post, and like, what am I going to look like? And then like, I get in these thoughts at night, and I'm like, I'm so selfish, because like every day I think about my music and what I'm doing, and I'm not even thinking about like literally like outside of my apartment door what's going on. So then I get this like, it's like a mixed thing in my head of like, am I doing this just for myself, or is it actually helping people, or like, should I be doing more? It's just, it's confusing. There's so much that comes with being a girl doing this. So much. It's like, some days I want to dress cute, you know, and like post a picture on Instagram with like a skirt and like a tank top or something. And then I'm like, oh, but like, I don't want to be sexualized. Like, I still want people to just focus on the music. So then I'm like, maybe I should butch it down and like wear a t-shirt and sweatpants, and like, maybe I should just post selfies like looking really ugly to remind people that they don't need to be pretty to like make good art. Like, that has nothing to do with it. And it's really confusing, because yeah, it's like, I don't think a lot of guys have to like really just sit there and like scroll through and like really think, like really meticulously think, like, what image am I portraying? Because when I think about it, I have a little sister, and I'm thinking, what do I want her to look up to, you know? So I try and have this balance of like, I don't know, like I truly don't really try very hard with my image online, just because I'm not good at it. Like, I know a lot of people have these like cohesive Instagrams, and I'm like jealous of it because it looks so good, but like, it's really complicated. You never know what you're putting out there, because you post one thing with like your boobs looking good, and then the whole internet's like, that's it, that's all they care about. And that's really scary. And that's a big reason I don't do a lot of interviews or like a lot of like even music videos, because I'm really scared of being put in a box. Because I think the second a girl is put in a box, they can never get out of it. Like, I think a guy can like go through like a lot of different phases, but I think like if a girl messes up once, like that's it. Like, that's her image. Like, she's that slut, she's that hoe. And it's like, I just want people to think about the music and nothing else. But you have to be present on all social media platforms. So you can't just choose to like tap out of that. But it's definitely a big thought process for me of like, what am I gonna try and make these young girls like look up to? Which is why I'm glad that I quit drugs, because now I can like, I used to like, when I started making music, I used to like have videos where I was like doing drugs, and it's really nice being able to post like, hey guys, like, I'm sober now, and like, I want you guys to be sober, because then you get all these DMs like, hey, I'm like 4 weeks sober because of you, and it's like, nothing feels better than that. Like, literally nothing. That sucked going through, because you know, I was going through like a very public breakup, and people forget that you're human for a second. They really do. And it's like, not only are you going through this personal heartbreak and your life's changing, you know, sorry, and you're going to like, it's a big deal when you're moving on from someone in life. So to have like all my DMs every day, I had to turn my DMs off, I had to turn my comments off, because it was just like so much hate of just like, you should have stayed with him. And then I'm like, who are you? Like, how do you know who I should be with? And like, what do you know about me? And then it's like, your music was better with him. It's like, what are you saying? Like, it made no sense to me. Person said, who were your favorite artists growing up, and do you think there'll be more girls in the cloud rap scene in the near future? My favorite artists growing up were a lot different than a lot of these kids, because I feel like everyone listened to a lot of like heavy bands, and they have like all these people they can name drop, but I listen to like music with my mom, like Fiona Apple and like the Indigo, what are they called?
What?
The Indigo Girls? Something like that. It was like Fiona Apple, Regina Spektor, like all these like really mellow women singers, and I was never into like any like hardcore bands or metal or any of that scene. Like this whole like emo scene, I feel like so disconnected from it, because I didn't really ever get into that. I just really like my biggest artist I will forever look up to is Fiona Apple, because she had like this way about her, like her writing, and like you could feel her emotion in her songs, and that's something I'll always admire. And about girls being in the scene more, I feel like there's a lot of girls in the scene, they just aren't talked about a lot. Like my favorite girl rapper right now is China, and she's known as like, I think his name is Dash or something, it's his girlfriend, but like if she's just known as like a rapper's girlfriend, but she is killing it. Like she is killing it, she's so good. She has like this low raspy like rap voice, and she's so good. I think it's a good year for women right now, because it's popular now to like, you know, it's popular to support women, which it has to happen. It has to be a meme or else it's not cool. But I think it's more just like, you gotta just do it, like against all odds. If it feels like it's a male dominated scene, or if it feels like you're in the studio and you're the only girl there, it's like, you just gotta do it. Like you just gotta go for it. You gotta make the music. You gotta have the talent too. Like you gotta make it good. Like make it your own, make it good. Don't ever worry about like the ratio of guys to girls in the room. Just like be the star in the room, you know? That's what I feel like you gotta do at this point. And ask me, how do I flex on my ex? That's a good one. I tried flexing on my ex by like faking happiness and like making it seem like I was like so cool and like doing so good. Not the way to do it. Don't do that. What you do is work really hard. Like do your thing, focus on yourself, make your money, talk to your mom, you know, be nice to people, and then just like work on yourself. Like the only way to flex on people from your past is just like working really hard at what you love to do, and just like keep going, keep going. Also, like, why would you even care about them? Like it shouldn't be like, your goal shouldn't be like, if I do good in life it's because I want to flex on people. No, no, no. Like no, it's got to be like flex on your depression, like flex on yourself almost. Like every time I make music, I'm like, I want to flex on my old self, like myself that hated me and hated what I was doing and was like, you're never gonna be shit, Hannah. Like you're always gonna be like a drug addict and nothing. It's like everything everyone told me, and it's like that's what I'm trying to flex on now, is like I'm not gonna be that person that everyone thought I was. I'm not gonna be like a high school dropout who like was addicted to heroin and like did all that. You can't have those labels on me. So just by making music and focusing on myself and working really hard, and just like I want my mom to be proud, I want my sister to be proud, and like that's the goal of flexing. Like that's it.